Hello everybody. I'm gonna do a quick video. This is kind of inspired by a comment that one of my subscribers, Curly Girly, left on my one of my videos, and this isn't because they asked like, hey, can you do a video or ask for advice on this, but I think it's a pretty good topic. And as you can see by the title of this video, kind of talking about the importance of social I guess connection in helping create foster successful recovery. I really feel that it's incredibly important to have a good social support network, and that I guess is comprised of a few different things that I'll kind of get into, but I wanted to say really quick, if you like this video, please subscribe, like. I did get another 2 subscribers, so I'm up to 160 now, so that's super cool. I'm very thankful. Thank you guys for doing that. I'm hoping to get like maybe 200 in like the next 60 days. We'll see, we'll see, but I'm incredibly grateful for those 2 subscribers, and just very incredibly thankful for everyone commented, and I like the viewer engagement and interaction. And sorry, like I just ate dinner, so my brain is kind of focused on like digesting food, but like I said, I think this is a pretty good topic to talk about, and I kind of wanted to make this video while the iron's hot, so to speak. So yeah, like I guess so for their comment in particular, they say, I want to say she, but I don't want to assume gender. But they say, my problem or most is my boyfriend and friend group. More like acquaintances because I can't trust them. All of us are like around each other 24/7. And my boyfriend is a dealer. Yeah, that's tough. My parents kicked me out, and my little brother won't talk to me. I stole from him. I hate myself. That's understandable, to have those feelings of, hating yourself, because of, relationships with your family, burning bridges, so to speak. It's tough when you lose those relationships because of your certain behavior that you have during your addiction phase. Oftentimes we lie to people, we steal, manipulate people to try to get our way, so that way we can typically like get more drugs, or try to get out of the consequences of our drug use. And after a while, people just get fed up and say, hey, I'm done, and unfortunately cut people out, which to be fair, I mean, makes sense. I think it's incredibly important in general to have healthy boundaries, and you could try to help somebody, but after a certain point, I feel that it becomes enabling, and you're doing them a disfavor. And if anything, it's better to set boundaries for yourself, but also for their sake too. I know that sounds kind of a little cold-hearted, but that's kind of one thing I've really observed and kind of experienced, is, I think those are incredibly important, boundaries. But anyways, yeah, that's incredibly tough, to try to maintain sobriety and be successful in recovery. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's going to be extremely difficult to try to be successful if you have friends and or family members that engage in substance use, or like you, especially with you, like, so if you hang out, you guys smoke weed, or shoot up some meth or something like that. But even if you don't use together, if they're using, I guess it kind of could go two ways. One, if you have family and friends that are using, but they are willing to accept the fact that you want to be sober, and they are supportive of that. So, not like peer pressuring you, be like, hey, we're going out drinking, like, fuck sobriety, come drink with us. That would be a relationship that, you might want to reevaluate. But, I know some people, it's like, because I think it's naive, or I guess not realistic to try to have relationships with only people that are in sobriety. I mean, that is ideal, typically, because other people that live a life of sobriety, whether that's kind of a life of recovery after having gone through substance abuse themselves, or they're just they just never really have touched substances, or had a problem with addiction. I would say the former is better, because someone that's been through addiction and those challenges, probably would understand you and support you better than someone that didn't go through those struggles. But again, it's like, there's so many people that like drink or smoke cigarettes. I don't think it's really realistic or feasible to like completely cut anyone out that uses like anything. I would say the main distinction, or the main important part, is to lose those friends and or family members, cut those relationships out if that person is not supportive of your recovery. And and that's in a few different ways. One, like I said, that peer pressure, if they're trying to pressure you into relapsing, or not even attempting sobriety, or being successful at sobriety, then yeah, that's a relationship that I think would be better off cut out. But also, an ideal relationship, someone that would be beneficial for your sobriety and your recovery, would be someone that can be help you, hold you accountable. I think that's a huge thing, accountability. For me, that certainly is. When I was living on my own, in a 1-bedroom apartment myself, doing mental health court, I had a hard time being successful with my sobriety. I just kept relapsing and drinking, because even though I knew I would fail a drug test like the day after drinking, that wasn't enough accountability. But living in this shared sober living house, the accountability is much higher, because there's other housemates in here that are also in sobriety, and the expectation is to maintain sobriety. So if I were to drink or use, one, that would just be incredibly disrespectful to the house and other housemates, but two, there would be pretty much immediate consequence. So for me, I need that accountability to that level. And I'm not saying you have to live in a sober living house, but I think it's helpful to have friends that are willing to like check in with you and hold you accountable, and especially not sugarcoat it. So if you're dicking around and not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or kind of following your recovery plan, for a friend, I feel that a good supportive friend or family member would call you out on it, and in a polite way, not to be like, oh, you're a piece of shit, but but like, hey, I'm concerned for you, I saw you go out last night or something like that. So I feel like that's why it's important to have people that, can support you and have that accountability, and to cut out, people in your life that are still using, and are interested in sobriety, but especially if they're not interested in you being sober. That's like I would say the main key. And it's tough, that's tougher it's easier said than done. I mean, especially if you've been friends, or known a family member for years, and those are kind of the only friends and family that you have. It's like, well, shit, am I, like, how do I just completely cut everyone out of my life? And that for me, I haven't really had to deal with that. I keep a pretty tight circle of friends and family. So I haven't really had to cut anyone out that wasn't supportive of my recovery. But I would say, maybe a good suggestion would be to, I guess, maybe try and think of a list of people in your life that, you have a relationship with, and, like, I guess prioritize. So it's like, this person is like the most pushy when it comes to, wanting to go out drinking, and is the least supportive. So maybe cut that relationship out first, but then those other people that, maybe are more understanding, but still kind of, are like, oh, you're more fun when you're drinking. Then you can cut those people out maybe a little bit later. But so yeah, if that makes sense, is to kind of just prioritize and just kind of take people out piece by piece. It doesn't have to necessarily be all at once. And then, then that poses the question, well, what am I supposed to do? Not have friends? And it's like, no, you should have friends. And you should have family members in your life. I truly believe that having a strong social support network is key to successful recovery. I think it was Johan Hari, like, he does like TED Talks and stuff like that, and I think a quote from him, because the Recovery Cafe uses this as like kind of their motto, or one of their mottos, but he says, addiction, or the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it is connection, which I think is a pretty interesting way of looking at it. I say that's pretty profound. So it's like, it's different than just being sober. Like, you can't just like be like, white knuckle in it and just be a dry drunk. If any of you are not aware of that term, it's essentially just like being sober, but like that's the only change that you make. So, you might still be hanging out with old friends or doing old behaviors, but like not drinking. That's going to be a lot more challenging than, making many more changes and, changing your friendships and, changing behaviors. So that's why I kind of like that, motto, or, what Johan Hari says, because, it's true. You need to do more than just be sober. You need to establish a strong social support network. And then also, it's been a while since I've read or looked at it. But if you're interested, I highly recommend looking up the Rat Park experiment. I guess I could Google it really quick. Let's see if this comes up with anything. Yeah, okay, so it is Rat Park. So look up Rat Park, and then like maybe addiction. Just type it in Rat Park, I even spelled park wrong. I mistyped. I put an L instead of a K, and it still came up with stuff. The premise is they had rats, and they were given a choice between like water, regular water, and water laced with like cocaine and I think morphine or something like that. The rats could choose. So if they were isolated and by themselves, they would choose the substance-laced water. But if you took that rat, I'm not sure if they kind of primed the rats for addiction and then put them into the park, or if they're taking like fresh rats. But I think either way, the point is pretty clear. But especially so if like the rat's previously addicted. But they put these rats into like a park, like a utopia. So it's like they have, other rat friends, to play with and like have sex with, and just everything's provided for, food, etc. And those rats don't really touch the substance water. They're not like driven to use that. So it's really interesting. That's kind of the general gist. Take that with a grain of salt. That's why I'm saying I highly recommend looking into it, because it's just so interesting. And it's like, those are rats, of course, but I think the same thing applies for adults, or for humans. For me at least, I've been much more successful with my recovery being in a shared sober living house, and in my early recovery, engaging with the recovery community here where I live, versus isolating myself in my apartment all day long, with nothing to really do, and like just feeling more depressed and just missing that social connection and not having accountability. So it's like, of course, I wasn't going to be successful with recovery. So I think it's important to have friends and family members in your life that are going to be supportive of your recovery, and again, hold you accountable, and like kind of just have those boundaries, and just be like, call you out when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I guess one other thing I'll say too, that's why I think AA and NA, and other meetings like Smart Recovery and Recovery Dharma, because there's more than just the 12-step meetings like AA or NA. There's Smart Recovery, which uses cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. It's not based in a higher power, even though you could have a higher power if you want. Recovery Dharma, I believe, is based on like Buddhist principles, so stuff like meditation. But I think the main important part is just having that social connection, regardless of whether it's a 12-step meeting or not. So that's why it could be really helpful to go and meet, go to meetings, especially regularly. And, a lot of people prefer to like have a home group. So like one meeting that they go to, consistently, so that way it's like at the same time, same place. So that way it's like other people do the same, and, you get to know each other. So it's more than just social connection with strangers. It's like social connection with people that you start to get to know. And it's good too, because they're in recovery as well, so it's like, that's a really great way to possibly make friends. That's one suggestion of making friends. Because again, going back to, well, what am I supposed to do? Not have friends? No, make friends, make new friends. That's the important part is cut those people out that aren't going to help you in your recovery, and meet new people that are going to. So I think the meetings are really important. I prefer Smart Recovery just because I like that more science-based approach. But like there's some good AA and NA meetings I've been to too. So it's not like it's just Smart Recovery. But yeah, just having that social connection and being able to, meet new people. And that's also why, having a sponsor can be helpful for people. And as far as I know, like AA and NA, like the 12-step is the meetings that use sponsors. I'm sure, like maybe some people might have like sponsors in Smart Recovery or Recovery Dharma, but, not call them sponsors, but just someone to hold them accountable. But with the sponsors, those can be especially helpful because they really hold you accountable. Sometimes they'll have you go write out the steps and do step work with their sponsees. And, also be like, hey, you need to call 5 other people in recovery every day. They'll kind of set some conditions and it's, individualized, so some sponsors are really hardcore and you need to call 5 people a day, every day. You need to text me a gratitude list every morning. You need to do a step every week, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people that might be incredibly beneficial. For me, that would be too stressful. That's a little too much accountability, but it varies. Not every sponsor is going to be like that, but at some degree, though, they do have some amount of accountability. So, I think that's one important or one potentially great way of kind of helping support your recovery in terms of social connection. And I guess the second thing would be, to try to Google or do some research and see if there's a strong recovery community where you live. Like I said, where I live, I'm really grateful. There's a pretty strong recovery and pronounced recovery community. So, there, like I said a little earlier in this video, and I've talked about in previous videos, the Recovery Cafe, which I haven't been in a long time. That's actually one thing I'm interested. I was talking to my counselor about interested in getting back into. Just because it's that's another great way, for example, your recovery community might look differently, but because I guess one more thing, there's other groups or organizations, I guess you can call them, that do different sobriety events, kickball games and volleyball games and board game night and stuff like that. So research into, see if there's recovery community and take advantage of that. So back to what I was saying, the Recovery Cafe is a good example on that because you have other people that are in recovery going to the same place. And, it's a pretty good aggregate of people. So, if you go consistently and regularly, a lot of other people do too, and you get to know them, kind of similar to going to your home group, and you get to know these people and make friends and have that support. The people at the Recovery Cafe are just fantastic people and incredibly supportive, and just make recovery exciting. They celebrate people's victories and celebrations. So, they'll circle up, when someone has 30 days of sobriety up, or years of sobriety, and, give them a coin. They'll host events too and stuff like that. So that's another thing too, is you can look into meetings, but also look into other potential recovery community in your city or town, wherever you live, and try to check it out and try to just get involved. It's at least check it out. And I guess kind of on that note too, another third thing, I know this is kind of some people might think it's lame, but you can always volunteer. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I would say I feel confident in that most cities and towns are going to have at least a handful of places where you can go volunteer. You know, whether that's like at the food bank, or you know, maybe like a homeless shelter or something like that, or a soup kitchen or food kitchen. And yes, that's not like recovery based per se or sobriety based, but that's another good way of going out and meeting people, because you know, if you're volunteering, there's going to be other people there volunteering, and you know, you might have some shared interests, and again, a kind of a case where, you know, you might find some people that aren't in recovery, but you know, don't, you know, struggle with addiction, and can still help support you. You know, like I said, you don't have to have friends with people that are only friends with people in recovery. You can have friends, and, you know, again, relationships with family members, if, you know, they're not in recovery. But the key part is just, you know, they need to be supportive and hold you accountable, and, you know, not undermine your recovery. So, yeah, I'd say that I'm pretty satisfied with kind of, I think that's sufficient, because I can't really think of anything else right now off the top of my head. So, but yeah, just to drive the point home, yeah, just I really feel that having social connection is incredibly important in being successful in your recovery. Is it absolutely required? No, you know, I'm sure there are some people that get by on their own, but I think it really increases your chances of being successful in recovery. And again, that's not just making you, it's like two parts, you know, cutting those people out that are going to, you know, poison your recovery and, you know, aren't going to be supportive, and then introducing new people and making new friendships that are going to be supportive. So, you know, and like I said, you know, it can be a gradual change. It doesn't have to all be at once, you know. Just maybe try and find the first few people that are like the worst for your recovery, and then be like, sayonara, and then make friends. So, yeah, hopefully this video was helpful, or, you know, it's, you know, some point came across in my incoherent babbling. It makes me think of that Billy Madison quote, where it's like something in your like incoherent rambling, like everyone is now like dumber or like worse off than they were before, and may God have, or Lord have, mercy on your soul, or something. I think mine was more coherent though. I think, you know, there's some substance there. But yeah, hopefully it was helpful. Yeah, and then like, I don't know, just you know, if you guys have like anything else, you know, like any questions, or, you know, feel free to leave them in the comments, and, you know, I can do a video talking more about this, or you know, if you have questions on other stuff, you know, just, I don't know, just leave some comments and be like, here's something. You know, and I do my best to respond to all the comments and stuff. So before I end here, I'm going to say I'm also super stoked. Just as a quick recap, today's been a great day. Super excited. That's one thing that's beautiful about recovery, is like I can get excited about like small things. You know, like saving money and getting deals, like that's exciting now. And I know it sounds lame, but I don't know, it's hard to explain, you know, whereas in my addiction, you know, the only thing that would really bring me like joy or excitement would be substances. You know, I would, everything else would just be so gray and blah. But, you know, I get excited for a good workout. Like, I had an exceptionally good leg workout today. Yesterday was another good shoulder and trap workout. I've really started to be getting stronger. But today's also has been great because I went grocery shopping. I took advantage of, I don't know if I mentioned it on any of my other videos, but really quick, Nestle is doing this promotion where if you buy like up to $25, well, $25 between $40 worth of stuff, you get a $10 digital virtual Visa gift card. Or if you spend $40 or more, you get a $20 virtual gift card. So I went to Safeway earlier today and got a fuck ton of pizzas, like different DiGiorno's, like Detroit style, Rising Crust. I got a few mini stuffed crusts, and I got some Lean Cuisine pepperoni pizzas too, which I like as well. And I made sure to add it all up and make sure like I'm kind of just like right on that $40 mark. And then I bought some other things too that I got really good sales on. And so the total came to, well, Evan Safeway had a $5 off a $50 purchase and a $10 on one of my accounts and a $10 off $50 purchase. So I purposely bought a little more than $55 worth of stuff. And to bring it down, I also did get a few things of almond milk because there were some good deals on Ibotta. As far as I know, like liquid dairy, even though I don't know if almond milk counts as dairy, I didn't want to take the chance. So I didn't account for it in that $55 that I need to spend. And 55 because, you know, $5 off would bring it to 50, and then $10 off would bring it to 40. So I didn't count part of that. So yeah, it was $44 for like a ton of pizza, 2 things of almond milk. I got 6-pack of Cliff Bars. I got like 3 boxes of different snack like Nature Valley and cereal bars. I don't know if I mentioned, but 2 packs of Foster Farms like seasoned chicken strips, which are super good. For $2.38 a piece. There's like 35 grams of protein in each of those. So yeah, super good. So it's cool. So $45. I got like $12 on Ibotta for some cash back on the pizzas, some cash back on the almond milk, some cash back on the snack bars and stuff. And then that $20 gift card. So it's like, yeah, like I got like $34 back on a $44 purchase. That's fucking so awesome. I'm super enthused. I had one of the mini stuffed crust pizzas tonight, but I think tomorrow night I'm gonna try the Detroit style pizza. That one looks really good. So maybe I'll do a review. Probably not. Like I'm not that excited about it. So yeah, so that was awesome, and just like, yeah, just recovery's going well. My health is great. Got some killer deals. I'm gonna get started back on doing freecash.com stuff. I really need to boost my money making game up. They got some pretty good game offers, but I won't get into that. So yeah, so I just wanted to do a quick recap. It's just like, yeah, super pumped. I mean, tomorrow's gonna be another good day. Freaking arm workout. So hitting triceps and biceps. And then I have to get a few more offers so I can get the Ibotta weekend bonus, which will be $5 cash back. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Please leave comments. Again, you know, please subscribe and like if you liked it. And, you know, if you want to see further content. And, you know, I hope everyone's doing well. You know, I guess my parting words would be, you know, please have some self-kindness, some self-love. I know that's hard sometimes, but, you know, understand that we're all human and, you know, we're not perfect. You know, we are going to make mistakes. But our past mistakes don't define us currently. You know, it's like we can always move towards, you know, improvement and you know, greater good. You know, just sometimes it just takes very small baby steps, and that can be hard to, you know, wait. But, you know, you're not going to just totally change your life in one night. It's going to take small changes, small baby steps, and a good amount of time. You know, I didn't get to almost 2 years of sobriety overnight, you know. It's certainly been a journey. So but I've, you know, tried to practice self-love and radical acceptance, you know, and just kind of, there's a lot of things I can't change in my life, or, you know, change it in life in general. So I have to kind of just accept that and, you know, change what I can, which is, you know, my thoughts and my behaviors. So yeah, you guys are worth it. You're worth happiness. You're worth a life of recovery. You're worthy of good friends and family. You're worthy of good health. You know, hopefully you can remind yourself that. Yeah, so I will see you guys next time.